Well, Gupta-owned mobile clinic operator Mediosa recently made headlines for a controversial multi-million rand prepayment from the Northwest Health Department. Our reporter Michael Appel joins us now from Klerksdorp to unpack this scandal and how state capture has impacted on healthcare around the country. Michael, you were speaking to someone just a little earlier, just looking at this example of Mediosa and the issue of prepayment. It's not something that's new to that province.
No, that's right, Michelle. And this province's health department has been under administration since at least 2015. So all big major expenditure was supposed to go through National Treasury. The decision-making ability of the department effectively taken away from itself because it proved that the levels of financial mismanagement required the intervention of National Treasury here. And I sat through an 11-hour marathon meeting of the Health and Social Development Portfolio Committee meeting, where they were questioning this 30 million rand prepayment that was made by the Northwest Health Department to Mediosa, a Gupta-linked company. We know that that company also offers this mobile clinic operator service in the Free State, and it's also reported in the media that health MECs in Limpopo were pressurized to also sign up this Gupta-linked company. I'm outside the Excelsius Nursing College in Klerksdorp. It's about a 2-hour drive from Mahikeng, where the decision makers in this province sit. And I've been inside this nursing college just to have a look at the conditions that the nurses and the lecturers here are forced to work under. It's a project that began in about January last year. It was a 440 million rand project, and the funding stopped in April. So after 4 months of demolition, everything stopped. So I'm going to ask Joel just to show you what it looks like at the moment. On the top story of this Excelsius College building, you've got that entire top floor has been demolished. All the windows have been smashed out. And then just under that is where the nursing staff and the lecturers stay. And the problem here, they tell me, is that there's demolition and the demolishment of that building going on literally right above them. So you often have rubble and pieces of glass just falling all around them. And the problem here is not the fact that there's a demolition of the building. I mean, this building, it's an apartheid-era nursing college that needed a serious revamp. And then, Joel, if you can just show them there on the right, this is where the new college is supposed to be built. There is work ongoing there at the moment, but the problem is that it's taken 15 months to get to that point there. And you can imagine that is still just a skeleton of a building there, and it's going to take several more months, if not years, to finish building there. And the nursing staff that I spoke to earlier spoke a bit about the deplorable conditions that they're forced to work in. Let's listen into that bite.
The conditions in the college are not okay. Where we are placed, it's not okay for us. But despite of everything, we are still going to class to teach the students because that is our core business of the day. Yes.
The toilet situation?
Toilet, it's worse. It's worse. We are using one toilet for the whole college.
I don't think that is true. There's no department that doesn't have money because other things are happening in the department. It's just that the needs for other categories of the working class in the country, they don't want to give them money for their needs.
And the conditions that lecturers have to work in here?
The conditions here are very, very, very bad. But in spite of the bad conditions that we are faced with in this college, we are still continuing with our core functions. As you see now, I'm going to class because the students shouldn't suffer because of the conditions that I'm working under.
The conditions are unbearable for the working class. And as workers, we actually support the direction that is taken by the working class. And because the Department of Labour have actually inspected West End, the current building that workers are supposed to go, but they made a particular order. They've issued a compliance order.
So, Michael, I suppose the question is, what is the situation now with the health boss in that province, Thabo Lekala? I mean, this is the man who authorized that 30 million rand prepayment to this mobile clinic company, Mediosa. He's the same man who admitted to Parliament that he went to Dubai, he went on a trip to India, paid for, in fact, by that same company, Mediosa.
Yeah, the controversy around Dr. Thabo Lekala is endless, in fact, and I've seen documentation where, despite having told the Portfolio Committee on Health and Social Development that he and his DG went to India and that trip was paid for by Mediosa, and that their wives that accompanied them on this trip, that they paid for it. I've seen documentation to the contrary. And the Northwest Premier, Supra Mahumapelo, he's a man that's also not far from controversy here. His office is raided earlier in relation to a separate IT contract there. But Thabo Lekala placed on leave at the moment, pending charges that have been laid against him of fraud and corruption. He's being investigated by the Hawks, as is the Premier's office. That investigation underway. The Premier saying he welcomes any opportunity to clear his name in this. But this is the consequence of these irregular payments that are made to companies that the National Health Minister, Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi, said was for a contract that should never have been awarded in the first place, and that the Guptas have in fact used the Northwest Health Department as an ATM to be able to fleece money from the province. And this is much needed money. As we know, the state of healthcare in South Africa is not what it should be. This is just one tangible outcome of these questionable payments.
Absolutely, and the victims, of course, are ordinary South Africans who then don't have access to proper healthcare. Thanks very much for that. Our reporter Michael Appel is in the Northwest Province for us as